This is Matt for Into Boxing. Delighted to be joined by the IBF World Champion, blonde bomber, Ebanie Bridges. Ebanie, first off, thanks for inviting me down to your home. It's been good. Watched you train this morning. Looking well. How's things?
Yeah, really good. Appreciate the visit. Obviously just moved here and it's, as you can see, lovely. It's nice and relaxing, and you're down here, and you always do well for me. So I appreciate you coming down, coming to the gym, and having a chat.
Yeah, we're good. It's the first time I've been to Tibbs Boxing Gym. I know none of the boys were in today, but it was good to see how you two have got such a good relationship, haven't you? You and Mark, you seem to bounce off each other. How's that sort of relationship keep going? Now you've won the title, obviously. You'll be looking at trying to get your unifications, but you two seem to have a real sort of special bond.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's getting better and better. The more time we spend together. At first, we were still good at first, but now there's the first part of just really like understanding him and understanding how we both work and just make sure it molds and we work well together, which we do, and now it's so natural. And his family to me, like he's to me he's like my boxing dad, and like Jimmy's my grandpa. They're family to me here, and especially I don't have any family over here or anything, so they act like family, Mark and his wife. And I said Happy Father's Day to Mark for Father's Day, because he's like my boxing dad. So I appreciate everything that they do for me. So it's a solid relationship, and beyond just the boxing.
Now we'll come to your future plans in boxing in a minute, but you're doing, I don't say training, coaching, but you're lending a hand to one of the other girls that are in the gym, Elle Brooke. Obviously, she's got a fight coming up. Yeah. Well, it was cancelled, postponed, but we do understand she's got another opponent. How have you found sort of lending advice to someone who was complete novice, like never done it in her life? Has it been good, or is that just sort of the teacher in you?
Yeah. I think like it naturally just came, like when I saw her in the gym the first few times, and obviously she's new, so she's very novice-y, and I can't just sit there and watch and just let someone do it, kind of, so I have to do the natural teaching. I think it's just a natural thing for me to go and want to help and give tips and help her out, and I think I'm able to break it down a little bit, a little bit more for her, and she's really, man, she tries hard. Like, she's impressed me a lot. She comes in and she works really hard, and she wants to learn, and she listens, and I'm actually really impressed with her. She's really come together, and I've really, I've enjoyed watching her little transformation, from me being here when, in the last couple of weeks. She's made actually quite a big transformation in the last couple of weeks, and I won't take the credit for it, but I mean, I was definitely spending a bit. You are doing
it. No, just do it.
No, but I think it's good for her to have someone in the gym that's very similar to her, like shape, size, whatever. We get along really well as well, and someone she can look at and go, okay, that's how it works. She watches me. Mark will say, Elle, I want you to watch Ebanie. Watch Ebanie how she works the bat. Watch Ebanie how she's doing her shadow, or I'll come after her after this session and I'll do drills with her. Because I like doing the drills. I would take it back to the basics, and I kind of like doing that stuff anyways. I think it's still really important, and so it helps me and her. And she's great. She's doing really well. So I'm proud of her. As a little proud, like teacher.
Big sister?
Mom. Yeah, big sister. Big sister. Yeah, she's done really well. So good on her.
Any chance that she'll jump in the ring and do a bit of sparring with you if you put the safety on, obviously?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of we'll call it condition sparring or teaching sparring, more learning sparring for her next week. Where just try and teach her while I'm in there. And I think she'll really benefit for it. But I won't be trying to hurt her or anything like that. It's just all about learning, teaching.
Now, I know you struggle to sort of hold back, so is that going to be difficult for you if she gets you with an odd shot and you just think, I might make her learn?
It won't, not in the emotional way. Like, it's not going to be like if I was in there with a boxer and say I was in there with a lighter boxer or something like that, and it's being like, they'll try it on me, I'll be like, I'll fucking put you in place, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to look after you, and if you want to be like that, then maybe. But not with her, because she's not a boxer. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I would never want to hurt her or try and anything like that, because... And she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's learning. The only thing is like sometimes I just can't help the power. Like, it just comes because if you do the right technique and everything, even if you're not trying to hit hard, it does. But I would never be like, I'm going to get you now. Like, no, I wouldn't be like that at all. No,
it's a good gym. I'm definitely come back, especially when there's a bigger, everyone there as well. Because it'd be good to see the atmosphere and the crack between you all. And Jimmy was saying it's a really good gym and a lot of talent and prospects in there. What's going on to next? Obviously, you've made this change. You've come over to the UK. You're here now permanently. How have you found the change? Like, so this is your home now.
Yeah.
There is going back, but this is your permanent place of residence.
Like, actually settling in was no issue for me because I've been here more than I've been at home the last 2 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's more when I go home I feel like anxious and like I'm not feeling right, and that's why I made the move, because I feel like I need to be here, and this is where I feel like the right place for me. So settling in was fine. I think I just had a lot of speed humps or like detours when I just thought I was like so naive. I'm like, yeah, I just like move countries, just get over here, like, get a house, get a car, like get a phone plan, get a bank account, like easy. It was not like that at all. It was like I couldn't get anything because you start from square one. So it's like even just getting a rental, because I don't have any rental history here. Landlords didn't want to borrow it. Getting a car impossible, can't get finance because I have no credit history. Getting a phone plan, you need to be in the country for 3 years before you can even get a phone plan. Can't open a bank unless you've got resident, like, proof of address, which I didn't have at first because I needed a rent. Like, it was just so much stuff. Like, I won't go on, but you can get the idea. Like, it's not that easy, which I was so naive to think that I would literally just rock up and just like, get a house, get a car, get everything perfect, just like I was in Australia, because I don't know anyone that's moved in my family from overseas, and I've never actually had to move overseas, so I wouldn't know the process. But yeah, it was a bit of an eye opener. But we're getting through it all, and it's been a long couple of weeks, and with a lot of help from my very good, sponsors. Steve from FCI Group, he's been absolutely amazing. Essex Car Group, they've looked after me. I've got a really good network around me that do help make it all possible.
You're gonna say, like, I'm surprised that they wouldn't just look at your sort of profile and say, well, world championship boxer, you should come over. Surely that's not something like you overlook to get back door in, but something as simple as a phone plan. I mean, I didn't. That's news to me. I would have thought you can just get one.
It's 3 years, minimum 3 years. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and there's like no budget in that. And same with kind of finance. They want like 3 years, but I think if you know some finance people, you might be able to push it. But it's still like there's pretty much saying you're looking a year, at least a year of income over here. I'm like, but I got all this income. But yeah, no, it's just crazy. Like, and I mean, to be fair, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, and like with the rental and stuff, like, anyways, it's all good because we're sifting through it all, and we're nearly there. Nearly got everything.
Right, let's talk boxing.
Yeah.
So, last time out, we've talked since then, but what's next? Have you had any sort of indication from Eddie, Frank, Matchroom? What are the plans? I'm assuming you're wanting to get out obviously before the end of the year. I know you've got a little issue with the hand, but you're willing to fight. What's the plan?
Well, the plan, from what I've heard from since my last fight, was Eddie, and you can listen to him in the interviews, is that I'm fighting in the summer. So there's 2 months left of summer. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting, mate. I'm waiting for that date. So unfortunately, the dates are not up to me. I'm waiting on Matchroom and Eddie Hearn to give me that date. So I'm hoping that I am going to get out in summer. I'm preparing like I'm going to get out in summer. Yeah. There's 8 weeks till the end of summer. So hopefully I'm out, by the last week of August or within August. That's what I'm preparing for, and just sitting here waiting for an opponent, waiting for a date. So I mean, I just want to fight, obviously. And as for who I'm fighting, that's up to my team. Mm-hmm. But I do know that Eddie wants me to do or recommends, doing a voluntary defence first, and then go into the bigger fight at the end of the year. But as you know, we mentioned with my hand, after my fights, my hand does take some time to recover. So I think the sooner I get that fight out, then there's more possibility of me being able to fight again at the end of the year. Because if I leave it too late, the recovery on my hand is going to be a harder turnaround, to get to then back it up again 3 months later. Yeah. So we'll see.
Are you getting a bit frustrated because obviously you've got this momentum now? You've just started with a new trainer. Just moved over here, but you're still learning on the job. I know when people talk about your age and you've a few fights, but they're all big fights, and now you're still getting better. So is it getting a bit annoying that you're having to wait and not know about when I'm going to be out next, no matter what the fight is? Is it playing on your mind a bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very frustrating, especially when you move your whole life overseas. And you're literally expecting a fight date. Like, it's frustrating. I think the most frustrating thing about being a fighter, and a real fighter, if they're going to watch this, knows how frustrating it is to not have a fight date, because we want to be working with a fight date or to have an opponent, like those two things, once you got a fight date, like, and an opponent, like, it's fucking, it's for real. Like, I can still push and I'm still motivated. You see me in the gym. I'm still working fucking hard. And you've seen my kitchen, my fridge. I'm still dieting, you know, like, I still eat clean. Like, it's nothing like I'm just out partying, waiting.
Yeah, fridge is horrendous for a normal person. I've had it looking enough. Milk, no.
It's a nightmare for a normal person, yeah. But it's not like, but when you have that date and you have an opponent, it just makes things all a little bit easier in a way. So, for an example, I hate fucking running, but I gotta run every day. I gotta run. And when at the moment it's like, oh, I gotta run, like, I have this little argument with myself, like, am I gonna run? Should I run? Like, oh, I'll just do 5Ks, or I'll just do 4Ks, or I'll just blah blah blah. You know, so you have this argument, and you end up doing it, but you go through this argument with yourself, trying to talk yourself out of it. You know, because it's like, do I have to? Like, I don't really have a date yet. Like, maybe I just don't feel like I'm a bit tired. But when you have a fight date and you have an opponent, there is none of that conversation in my head, anyways. It's like, okay, gotta run. That's it, no questions. It's like, oh, should I? No, you fucking have to, because you're fighting this date and you're fighting that person and you need to fucking go run. So there's no arguments. And so even with dieting, you know, for a fight, you know, it's much easier to say no to things when, you know, you've definitely got that locked in, because it's like, I can't eat that. Yeah. That's it, you know. So yeah, that makes it a lot harder, easier in that sense. But in the gym, I'm still pushing, I'm still grafting, I'm still doing everything that I need to do. Mm-hmm. But it's just that little mental battle of, you know, trying to just talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. Do you is it a case of, you mentioned a voluntary, but as soon as that voluntary is out the way and he's talking about big fights, I know we've done the Courtney rematch to death now. Let's think Shannon's on her own, sort of come back at the minute. Hopefully we'll see her back in the ring at some point. But you'd be looking at going into a unification, like say Dina Thorson and things like that. That's at the front of your mind, because you mentioned before about you've achieved this goal now, but you're not satisfied. Yeah. The next goal is, I want to be unified. Is that the forefront of your mind?
Yeah, of course. I mean, before Eddie told me you should do a voluntary first, I was like, I just want to fight right now. I just want to go straight in. Let's go. But to be fair, like, I think it's a good idea. Like, you know, why not? You know, I think these fights are all big fights. Every single one of them, you know, because I'm involved. You know? No, but seriously. Like honestly, like, they're all going to be big fights. And they're all going to be unifications. And no matter who I fight, it's going to be exciting. No matter which one it is, I'm going to win the belt, you know. So I just think, like, I want it to happen, of course. I want the fights to happen. And it's just really down to my team, I suppose, my manager, and Eddie, to think what is the best for the best, you know, because I'll fight any of them. And I believe, and my team believes, like, I know my team believes that I beat them. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter which one comes first or whatever. It's you know, there's a lot, as you know, there's a lot that goes behind making fights. So it just, it all depends. But yeah, of course, that's the goal. I don't want to just sit here and just fight and defend. Yeah. You know, I'm not here for a good time, you know, you know, and I want to collect those belts.
Any sort of, do you know what I found weird? Like, you've just moved over here and now there's been a show announced in Australia. Was that like, you know, when you look at that, do you think, could you not have just done that before I moved over? And or is that like a thing where you're like, I've based my whole camp and moved my whole stuff over, and now you're putting on it like a spectacle? Are you sort of a bit like, I don't know what the word is. It's a bit like sour grapes now because you're over here and you.
Not my problem, because it doesn't matter if I fight in Australia, if I fight in the UK, it doesn't bother me. I'm still going to get the same promotion. It's not for me. It's more like, I think it would have been beneficial for Matchroom to have me on that card. Definitely would have been.
Yeah, well, have you not been asked?
No, well, I didn't. Well, to be fair, I didn't want to. I think they knew I wasn't going to, because I've literally just moved my whole life overseas. I've found my camp here with Tibbs, so I can stop doing country hopping every single fight. Every single fight, I've gone between 3 countries, except for my last camp. Yeah. My last camp was the first camp. I've only had to do one 24-hour flight, you know, and I had to have the whole camp in the same spot, not leave in the last week to go overseas to another place again, you know, and look how I performed. You know, no training with this trainer for the first 4 weeks and then training with this trainer for the next 4 weeks. And, you know, and that just shows that stability it works for me. I need the same trainer. It's how it is. It makes sense, you know. For me, if I was to fight in Australia, then, you know, I'd want to do my whole camp in Australia, you know, and that means Tibbs and everyone has to come over to Australia. Matchroom, if they want to do that, they want to support that, then I'll fight in Australia. But right now, I want to just put on my best performances. I want to collect those belts, and I want to do it in a place where it works for me, You know, I've done enough traveling. I've done enough, you know, more than the fair share of everyone. That I don't fancy going back to Australia. Or maybe I'll go back to Australia when I have all the belts.
Yeah.
With all the belts for a unification fight or for a, you know, to defend all my belts. I don't know, but I'm not going to do that traveling again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, and yeah, it's ridiculous, you know. So look, I think it's gonna be a great show. They've got you know, Brock Jarvis, amazing. I love Brock and Liam Paro. To be fair, Liam Paro has been one of my favorite Australian boxers for a long time.
Yeah.
Brock, amazing. He's very exciting to watch. This is a crazy fight.
Yeah, it's a good card,
It's
isn't it?
It's a great fight. Well, that fight in particular, the main fight, you can't underestimate it. It's a great fight. I mean, it's a lucky. I would say lucky fight for Brock because he's kind of, Liam's on the verge of a world title, and now he's taking this risky fight against Brock. It is a risky fight because Brock's great. He might become up a few guys, but you can see how big he is. He's huge. He's a growing boy. He might have been bantamweight like, you know, a couple of years ago, starving himself, but he's definitely grown into his size. You know, so he's definitely should be fighting at that weight anyway. So I don't think it's like, oh, he's coming up 2 weight division. He's like, no, that's where he should be fighting. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a great card either way. You know.
Yeah. Moving on. Talking about things, a lot of time your name gets brought up, especially online, and I'm asking you this a little bit, just a little bit. Fine then, the majority of the time your name gets brought up online, a lot of things get linked to it, so OnlyFans, we've never talked about this, so I want to ask you, you know, when you look at that and you see like it's taking off, do you look and just think, you know what, although I'm boxing, I could really... Don't worry about that. I mean, ideally he'll fucking stop mowing his lawn next door now, but it doesn't matter. Do you look and think, you know what, I could really sort of, not cash out, but make a lot of money doing this? Or is that in your thoughts to maybe do after boxing? Have you ever considered that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I always said I wouldn't do it because I want to go into. I want to be able to always go back into teaching and not have that hindrance. Because you know, my ideals was that I was going to box and, you know, still live in Australia. I'd never really planned to move here, but it came to a point in my career. I'm like, I got to forget about the little goals that I had because now it's bigger, you know, and now I got to make the move, and my life and my ideas have to move with it. So I honestly, personally, don't think I'm going to be teaching again. You know, I would love to still go into schools and do those, you know, motivate kids and do seminars and talks, but I don't think I'm going to be in the classroom teaching again. So that kind of opens that door a little bit, like, because that was the only thing really that was stopping me. Because of course I make fucking heaps. Like, you know, I put like one picture of me in a bikini and it gets like over 400,000 views in, you know, in a day, and like over 1 million engagements. Like $5 a view, like that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. But right now I am just focused on, you know, defending my belt, and I want to become unified champion. You know, it's a lot of work with that. I couldn't, you know, I'm not a model. I couldn't be fucked taking all these photos and the time that it takes to do all that. Like, it's just, I couldn't be bothered. So, yeah, right now, no, but it's not, yeah, it's definitely something that I'm like, yeah, you know, I could definitely cash in on that. So when I feel like I could be bothered, possibly. I don't know. And then watch them all follow. Watch them all follow. They're all going to give me shit. They'll all give me shit if I do it. And then they're all going to follow because they're going to see me fucking with the money and, like, you know, just living the dream.
You think all your haters will just transfer straight over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All my haters will definitely be subscribing. That's for sure. They'll be the first ones to buy a subscription. I can guarantee.
Do you feel now that you've won your world title, do you feel more, not accepted because I think you are accepted, but more like established, and that you've sort of knocked that whole tag off of just someone who's, you know, getting on the scales and doing what you do? Because we know that's part of you and you like to do that, you like to look good on the scales, but you've sort of shaken that tag of it just being that. Do you feel sort of more, I don't know, like ingrained in the boxing community? Do you know what I'm saying when I mean that?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Of course, having a world title always like helps legitify you, you know. But I think it's also just the fact that my brand's built and who I am, and I'm known, you know, around everyone. You know, a lot of people know who the Blonde Bomber is, and I think just in that, it's just my career. And every fight that I have, I grow, you know, and I've become a name, and I've become a known name and a figure, if you want, of women's boxing. And I think, world title or not, I think it's, you know, it's kind of has that I don't know, you know, I have it, like, it's the brand's made, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously having the world title is definitely I think it's just still like more of a fuck you to the people that think I can't fight. Like, I mean, to be
That's
fair,
more satisfying for you, isn't it?
yeah, that's satisfying. And to be fair, I don't do it to prove those guys wrong, but it is good. And to be fair, half of them are still sitting there like in denial, trying to bring my boxing skill down. But I mean. But you know, there's a lot of people that did that about Mayweather as well. And if you're a boxing person, you know Mayweather's a fucking ace. Like, he's a good boxer. Like, anyone that says he's shit and he runs, like, it's just like, he's just literally a hater. And the same people that say I can't box.
Yeah, I think you made a point after your last fight, didn't you? What did you say on DAZN?
I said, fuck you guys. Yeah, fuck you guys. I think I can't fight because I can fight and I can look hot in the scales or something. It's like,
DAZN are like, oh god, 1 second into it and you've there gone off the rails.
Not really. They're probably sitting there going, yes, that's going to get the views, more views. That's what they're going to do.
Anything else? Any other news? Anything you want to share? I think we've covered quite a lot.
I got a kitten yesterday.
Oh shit!
There you go.
Right, go on. A couple of minutes talking about this because I've heard nothing but this kitten. So
I should go get her, but
no, because if you lose now, I don't. Yeah, it'd be emotional for you. Won't it? So go on. You've got this cat. Go on. I'll give it 2 minutes airtime.
Okay, 2 minutes. So I got a new kitten, Gracie, and she's a Russian blue, and yeah, she's amazing. And she's like little. She's like 10 weeks old, and she's my little buddy, and I love her so much. And that's it. You know, you gotta say.
I mean, I'm not joking.
You've
like,
been here. You've seen it. She's
spammed with like just pictures of this little cat running around.
Besides this interview right now, she's just on me. Like, literally, she's like just all over me, walk around the house. She just doesn't leave me, and I just love it. And yeah, she's gorgeous. So you'll be getting a lot of cat spam. I only got her last night, so
yeah, I know you've had it like literally hours, not even a full day yet.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even been able to sit down and even post anything about her because she's like on my hands. You know, like if I'm on the phone, she's like trying to get my hands because she just wants the attention. So nah, it's good. But yeah, she's awesome. I'm so happy. She's my little buddy.
Yeah, I can see your face when we talk about her. I mean, gosh.
You love her. You're in love.
Nah.
Best cat you've ever seen. Yes, best cat.
I mean, I'm racking my brains, but I mean.
You're not a cat person, but.
No, I prefer dogs. Yeah, it's a cool cat.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Right, Ebanie Bridges, thanks for talking to Into Boxing, giving us a bit of an update on what's going on with you. Hopefully you'll get some fight news announced very shortly, and then we can have another catch up and see what's what.
Yes, fingers crossed. I'm waiting every minute, just waiting for that fight news, so I can tell everyone. So guys, don't ask me who's I'm fighting next or when it is, because I don't know. So when I know, you'll fucking know. Because every time someone asks me, it's like, I don't fucking know.
Oh gosh. Well, I appreciate your time as always.
Thanks, guys. Much love. Appreciate it.